Hi guys, welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam. I'm an intuitive reader and I read for your highest good and for the highest good of all. Thanks for joining me today. I'm in a beautiful pine forest and I thought, let's do a reading for you guys. I have a couple decks. We're going to start with just my storybook deck here, just to get a general energy. So what are we talking about today? Who am I talking to? What's going on for you guys? All right, Gandalf and Frodo in the long dark of Moria. So I have a couple of cards for this one. But Gandalf and Frodo are discussing Gollum because they find out that Gollum is tracking them through the mines of Moria. And Frodo says it's a pity that Bilbo didn't kill Gollum when he had the chance. And Gandalf says, pity? It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand. Many that live deserve death. Some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo? Do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment. Even the very wise cannot see all ends. My heart tells me that Gollum has some part to play yet, for good or ill, before this is over. The pity of Bilbo may rule the fate of many. I love how often Tolkien talks about characters being guided by their heart. When they're asked to make major decisions on this quest to destroy the Ring of Power, the wisest characters talk about their hearts the most often. And they say, my heart tells me to go this way. Often they aren't making decisions based on purely logic or on a needs assessment. It's not that. It's based on what their heart tells them is correct. The intuition of the main characters is what winds up being their greatest strength. And they do things that they don't always make sense. But they're guided by their hearts as the seat of intuition. The seat of intuition. What else about this? No, I think that's it today. So, someone is being guided by their intuition, by their heart, or they are moving into a space where that's more what you're operating from. And that might be new. Okay. I like it. I like the faith. All right. We're going to move into some modern witch tarot. See which witch is which here. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Right before I started, I'm in this niche parking lot. And this car pulled into the parking lot and then reparked right next to me. And it was completely black tinted. And they just hung out there for a minute. And then they pulled out of the parking lot. Which was strange. Weird energy. All right, what do we got? Everything is fine. This is a unique card in this deck. It's the Ten of Swords. But I read this as an end to an approach that wasn't working. And this can be in anything. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone. I'm getting some relationship stuff. But mostly in navigating truth, navigating life. We might have been using someone else's compass or a broken methodology trying to fit our life around that rather than creating one that fits our own life, or scrapping the methodologies and just following the heart. Yeah. With the heart, it looks like more madness than method. But there is a method to the madness of the heart. It's in tune with a much larger rhythm that we can't, even the wise cannot see all ends, right? As Gandalf would say. So we can do something from the heart that doesn't feel logical in any sense, that we can't see the ends of. But we feel, no, this feels right. This feels correct, right? Like people sometimes ask me what, because they'll watch me shuffling. And I kind of shuffle unusually. They'll be like, what are you, like, what's the method? What's the method to your shuffling? Like people I read for in public who aren't familiar with this kind of stuff, who haven't been taught to rely on their intuition or even to listen to it, right? And they're watching me shuffle and they're like watching for a pattern or a method. And I have to kind of explain to them, you know, when you're putting a key in a lock and you're not sure, you start to wonder if, can this even be the right key, you know, because it doesn't feel like it's quite going in correctly. And then all of a sudden it just like slots in. They'll be like, what are you doing when you're shuffling? And I'm waiting for that feeling, right? That feeling that just like, oh, there we go. This feels right. This feels intuitively correct. And working with the heart, you rely a lot more on that, which can be scary. All right. I don't know if this is I don't have a plan for this. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if this is going to be more of a traditional spread or if we're just going to go card by card and talk about the archetypes, since I don't have like a table surface really. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so we got 4 of Wands. You might have felt like this feeling of home is a little bit elusive. I feel like you have made a lot of places your home. Like you've lived there. And you can get by just fine. But I feel like you have yet to feel a deep sense of home. Yeah. I feel these feelings of like just being tired and frustrated. It's a bitter feeling when you look into it, because you deserve this. You deserve this feeling of home. Know that your heart is guiding you there, right? If you're like, what is it? What is my heart pointing to? It's home. It might not be a literal location. It might be like a group of people instead. Family, but not like the one you were born into. Something, I just want to say, more precious. It's really overwhelming. it's something you've had to wait so long for, and it's going to feel, on a cloudy day when like a single shaft of sunlight descends and you're just sitting in it, like feeling it on your face. That's what it's going to feel like. Oh, it's going to be worth the wait, and it's going to be worth the faith, because this is a completely different way of navigating the world that you're stepping into, and that can be really scary. Trust me. I know. I know. But it's leading you where you need to be. It's leading you where you're supposed to be. That's what happens when we start to tune into the heart. The heart, when I said it follows larger rhythms. Those are the rhythms of nature as well. Like, it's going to put you where you are supposed to be, like a sea turtle looking for the current, right? It's just this instinct that they have. It's not it's not a logical thing. It's not planned. It's just like, no, that's literally where the flow takes me. It's where I naturally am supposed to be. And when we start listening to the heart and stop living a very contrived life, like a very forcing our life into a box or to look a certain way, we give the universe the opportunity to deliver us to this Four of Wands, our home. Yeah. I feel really calm, like this is the energy that you'll be stepping into. And this will become so natural for you. Other people will get so shook looking at your life. Like you'll see them looking in, and you can see them getting anxious about the lack of what they see as a lack of structure. But it's a very small mind's perception of structure. One primate's ego and its idea of structure, not the universe's idea of structure, which is a lot calmer. It's a lot wiser. It's unbothered. Nature is unbothered, right? Keep doing your thing. See if we got anything else from the Modern Witch Tarot for you. All right, King of Pentacles. I love to see it, guys. So, this is not only home, but this is the King of Pentacles, this is like materiality well and truly in hand. Not squeezing to control, but everything just falling into place and having its natural order. This is not having to worry about your material situation. I get safety from this. You're going to feel like a king in a walled garden in this new sense of home. This place that your heart is taking you to. Whether it only be in your own mind, this can also be a possibility, guys. Like we think of that as lesser, but the mind, the internal, the invisible, that's the realm of cause, right? And you can only make true change, lasting change, meaningful change that's in line with the way things are, from that space. And then the outside will change in ways that actually mirror it and complement it. an internal transformation of this sort is a true gift as well. And it's what everyone is looking for. I recently went on vacation to like this beach, and I was looking around, and everyone just sort of looked like they're all from different countries, and they all just sort of looked like restless and dissatisfied. It's like, what? I was just looking around grinning like, what? A question I often ask myself is there something about this moment that you find dissatisfactory? Like, is there something that this moment is missing? Is how I like to phrase it. And as soon as I ask that, something shakes loose. And it's like, oh no, actually, it's completely perfect in its imperfection. It's completely, there's nothing missing. One of my cards is about the movie Amadeus, but if you guys haven't seen that, the emperor is he's like critiquing Mozart's music, and Mozart asks him, "What's the problem with it, Your Majesty?" And he says, "Oh, what am I trying to say?" And he casts around it to his court composers, and one of them suggests there's too many notes. And he says, "Yeah, that's right. There are too many notes." Like when we critique the way things are, when we critique the universe, what we're saying is like, there are too many notes, or there's too few notes. When a Mozart symphony is perfect, even Salieri admits in that movie, to take away one note, there would be diminishment, right? My favorite Sanskrit prayer goes, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. And this means this is perfect in its imperfection. That is perfect in its imperfection. Fullness comes from fullness. Take fullness from fullness. The remainder is fullness. It's just like the universe is a perfect work of art, and we're walking around this beautiful gallery with our just going like, ugh, well, I don't like that. That's not the way that I would have it. And it's kind of like God is like, what the heck, man? Like it's perfect. It's perfect. And I feel like you're coming into a sense of that, and it's going to reflect in your outside world. This inner knowing that Purnamada, Purnamidam, this is perfect in its imperfection. That is perfect in its imperfection. There are the perfect number of notes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's I'm interested to see why, because I was intuitively guided to grab a couple of different tarot decks. I want you guys to know that if my ego were to structure a reading, it would look very different. I feel like I would also be saying things like, this message was meant to find you right at this exact moment. But we all have different guidance. Let's see what this is. Two of Cups. a lot of people read this as, so it's a union, but often they read it as with another person. Like, oh, this is your soulmate or your twin flame. Or, my readings tend to be more about like someone's spiritual journey and their spiritual evolution, which can be, a very solitary sort of exploration. The story of the Hermit card comes to mind. But so I'm often tempted to read this as like a divine masculine, divine feminine union within you. And that can certainly be what this is, but I feel like more than anything, this is just coming into union with the life you were meant to live. And a lot of people will, make an equivalency between the life you're meant to live and the job you're meant to have, or the place that you live. But it's all of the things, right? As one holistic experience. Life is way more than any one of those things. It's all of it. And I feel like your heart is leading you into all of it. It might not look how you imagined it. But it's going to be better for you than you could have imagined for yourself. That's what you get when you trust the universe and you trust your heart. You get an experience of soul growth, but also one that makes your soul sing, which you might not get from that dream life that you imagine for yourself. You have to trust that whatever your heart is leading you to, the heart being part of the universe, like that is far greater than anything you could design. Far, far greater. So let's see what else for you guys. The moon. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is not something you would imagine for yourself. There's a mystery here. Maybe you can see part of it, like I'm seeing like a crescent moon. You have an idea about like the kind of thing this is, or you get flashes of it. I feel like if you try to imagine like the practical elements of whatever this is, what you're going to get is like only ever that partial vision. Because the totality of it, the wholeness, the holistic nature of it, the full moon of this vision resides in the feeling state of it. So try less to imagine the intricacies of this thing, the details of this thing. If you're working on manifesting or wondering like, I'm following my heart, but should I also be like actively trying to bring something in, like manifest something? If you are trying to do that, don't, like the mind movie is only going to get you so far because you can't imagine this movie. You can't imagine this movie. Instead, focus on the feeling state. Right? Like earlier when I was tearing up, that feeling state of the feeling like that ray of sunshine is coming through the clouds just to land on your face. That feeling of home from other souls, like, who understand you. That feeling of home that I suspect you understand and feel when you are in nature. That feeling of being so, like, full to overflowing with contentment, love, joy, and awe at the splendor of everything. Manifest that rather than specific circumstances, because those feelings are what we all want in the end. Like all those people on that beach, they had arrived at their destination, but they weren't feeling what they were supposed to be feeling. But that can only come from the internal. So we can be on a beach. We can be in a garbage compactor on the Death Star. You know, we can be in beautiful circumstances or really nasty ones, uncomfortable ones. But that feeling state is always open to us. And it's an act of freedom to choose to feel it. It's an act of defiance, truly. Yeah, and that's going to help you. All right, let's see what else. Okay. No, I think that's it for the tarot. We're just going to get advice cards. And then we'll close out. Oh, Ferris Bueller on his day off. So this card can just be encouraging, like, a day off. But mostly it's a card about Ferris's philosophy on life, right? To rest so that you can actually enjoy your life. To rest so that you can get to these feeling states that we're talking about. Because it doesn't behoove our society, the way it's constructed, for you to sit in and reside in those feeling states. What would they sell you? Why would you ever go to work? You know? So build this for yourself, this space. Ferris Bueller reminds us that life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So your focus, your attention is truly your life. Like, that is where we place our attention, is our entire life. What do we remember from our life? The things that we placed our attention on. What do we perceive in our day-to-day reality? The things that we place our attention on. So yeah, this card encourages you to reclaim your power. That's a lot of what Ferris Bueller is about. Ferris is this unique individual who's forced into this system called high school. And it's just not really for him. At least not on this particular day. And it's really about taking back his power from those who would seek to diminish him, control him, manipulate and cajole him into similitude, right? There's something else on here that could benefit you. It says, go to an art museum and really look at the art. That's funny. We were talking about an art museum earlier. Even the pieces, especially the pieces in that art museum that on first glance you don't really care for, it's not really your cup of tea, take a closer look. I took a class one time, and one of the assignments was just to sit for 1 minute looking at an artwork. 1 minute is significantly longer than most people spend looking at any single artwork in an art gallery, in a museum. Significantly longer. So take a minute. And if you can, take 2. Unheard of. Take 2 minutes to look at one piece of art that at first glance you don't like, and you'll start to see all kinds of things that you like. I find the further I get on this journey, the more I like. And if I don't like it, or if I discern that it is not for me, that's truly what I'm doing. I'm not really anymore putting things into categories of like good, bad, like this, don't like that, because it's just so limiting and judgmental. And it keeps me in this way of thinking where I'm categorizing and deciding if things are good or bad, and it all keeps you from actually experiencing anything. So yeah, the artwork is a really good place to start. Not everyone appreciates life as beautiful, especially when they're going through difficulty. But that piece of artwork is hung up in a museum because there is some consensus that it is a work of art, that it is beautiful, that is masterful. So it is a masterpiece, like it is beautiful. And you might just have to take the time to attune to it, to sit with it, to find that beauty. But if you sit for a minute, it'll smack you in the face. There's so much beauty in there. Yeah. That's it. That's it for this reading, guys. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you like this format for the videos. If you liked this kind of read, hopefully I can do some more of them if they resonate. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you in the next one.